You are watching the DanJJING Star League Season 3, Round of 8, Day 1, BeSt versus Mind. I welcome you guys to this cast. So I am BisuDagger, and we are watching a series that is tied 1-1, and we're on Fantasy 2. And we're going to have on the left side, it's going to be Mind. Meanwhile, BeSt is going to be spawning down on the right. Alright, so it is fun, if you guys haven't noticed, that there are constantly pro players that are leaving comments on the right side, as I just saw Flash's name pop up on the right. So if you could read Korean, somehow, you would be able to see kind of the pro player comments that are popping up there. Assuming that's the real Flash and not some fake Flash. But as you can see on the left side, if you didn't notice, there's the score 1-1. And then, of course, a P4 and T8. So you've got your little key index there at the bottom left. And then up top, you can see the resources and the magnificent APM over 400 as they go into the spamology, that I like to call it, for trying to micro out and warm up those hands. So the probe is coming out for BeSt. And what's this probe going to do? Are we going to see some level of cheese in this best of 5? For some reason, I feel like the level of cheese since the Kespa era has just been at an all-time low. And it gets lower and lower. So even though you have certain players that kind of do all-ins or really, really cheeky builds, you know, my eyes on Shine there, who really has what he calls his bag of builds. I still don't even consider them cheeses. I just consider them well thought out timings. But we haven't seen cheeses that much in any of these tournaments. So I would like to see some of those players start mixing that in again. I think, you know, maybe because they're so well established and they know that their opponent is so well established, they might not just get away with it anymore. But with a map like Fantasy not being played in a really, really long time, you have the ability to pull those cheeses off. And, you know, when you're a younger player, I still feel like there are some younger players that do those cheeses. That's kind of where you see them come from. Because that's what Flash did to really gain his dominancy early on in Pro League and individual tournaments, is that when he knew that his opponent was better, he did open up with a cheese. And that would help him give the mental edge in a best of series, which is why he's so good in the best ofs. Getting that competitive mental edge. Mind, on the other hand, I feel like he's lost his ability to get that mental edge against Protoss players. Protoss players really don't fear him. Okay, but we see a fast Citadel of Adun. Guys, what are you thinking here? Are you thinking that DTs are going to come out? So I wonder why he's chosen DTs for Fantasy. It's been so long. Again, remember, like I've said, I haven't casted in almost a year. And then on top of that, I haven't seen Fantasy played in quite a long time either. What does the ramp look like? I mean, it's a normal up ramp to leave your main base. So it can be pretty hard to get a DT in. But maybe BeSt will get away with it. Let's see. So only 2 SCVs on the factory for right now, as the factory's starting to get that upgrade. I'm guessing Siege. Siege expand for our Terran player. Not going to be Vulture Mine expand, which would be very unfortunate because mines can be hugely important. So not only is it going to be DTs, but it's going to be drop DTs, shuttle DTs. Oh, this is interesting. So a Vulture does come out. So since he's chosen Vulture, maybe he'll get mines. How fortuitous if mine goes for that. The expansion coming down, though. The command center going to be established at that natural base. It's kind of hard when the natural base is kind of like more inward on the map because you can't even give it a clock position. Alright, but everybody's watching to see what's going to pop out next. What's the upgrade going to be? So it's just finished. I wonder if there are just those awesome people that know, okay, that upgrade finished way too quickly to be a siege upgrade. It's got to be mines. I wonder if there are people who just can sense that out. It's like second nature. To me, though, I did not get to watch it long enough to determine which upgrade it is. A couple more vultures, though. So, really trying to... You know, this is tough. So, I'm seeing now why DTs can be helpful beyond shuttle. So, it is mines that are coming out. Is because there's this dual entrance to the natural base. This is very interesting. So, DTs could come in from the north or from the south. But all the mines have been, interestingly enough, placed at the natural base. And so, even though they're really well-established mines... You know, this shuttle is going to bring the DT up onto the high ground and go inside the main base. Now, what about contact stations? No. What about the academy? But a turret! A turret is being built, which is pretty much going to shut down the ability to be aggressive in these mineral lines. I think this has been completely read by Mind, and I think that this is going to be a quick win for him. I don't see BeSt being able to do too much with this. Wow. So can he get that SCV? He does. He's got 2 DTs out. He manages to at least weaken that side. And with no spider mines being laid down up in the main base, he's going to kill off this supply depot. What more can BeSt get? So he gets the supply depot. A new vulture has just popped out. So 3 new spider mines are going to be available. So many spider mines have been laid out at this point. Lots of vultures have been created to mount this defense. But these vultures are going to be great because they can dual harass the expansion of BeSt and kill off tons of probes. So that's going to be a critical thing here too. Look at all the SCVs trying to heal up. Okay, so he lifts the DT. Oh, this is crazy, crazy level micro. And it looks like the DTs are just going to pack it in. And all he did was get HP damage on that building. Nothing too critical for SCVs because the SCVs can come in to repair it no matter the health damage. Oh, but the DT on the ramp, I guess this could be another nuisance. Do you build another turret? Do you drop another spider mine down? Mind, he's got a lot of options to deal with this. But he is going to have to deal with it eventually. I think just the contact station is going to be what he will do next. Excuse me, I really had to clear my throat there. Okay, so the Dragoons are going to be pushing across the map. And I wonder if BeSt is sensing weakness because there's not a huge amount of tanks because Mind had to build so many vultures. And so he is able to clear out these mines very quickly. There's only 1 tank on the high ground, 1 tank on the low ground, and these vultures will die very, very fast to the Dragoons if the Dragoons micro well. Look at that nice focus fire. Most of the vultures have been taken out. I can't believe it. Is BeSt actually going to do this? He's just getting away with so much damage right now. The tank gets taken out, which is hugely important. And the tank on the high ground is just not getting any hits. And it's not participating in the battle. Meanwhile, the DT, it just gets barely rescued here. As another move in on that tank on the low ground. Oh my god, is BeSt going to do it? Again, he's still trying to continue to push. He needs to be able to take out that turret. If the turret gets taken out... Oh, did he just lose the DT and the shuttle at the same time? I think that mine is going to hold now. That was very unfortunate. And a nice mine on top of that ramp, too, to prevent the Dragoons from being able to escape in that direction. Wow. What an exciting early game we're seeing. Just 8 minutes, 9 minutes now into the game. And mine's just had to barely hold on here. Fantasy is a fun map as far as I can tell. I'm sure some people have their complaints. From every matchup, I'm sure the complaints exist. Oh, but here come the vultures. Remember, I told you that the vultures would be good for harassing the natural base. But mine says, screw it. I'm going to send them all the way up into the main. And maybe some damage can be done. Here come the probes. The probes get pulled and the vulture gets trapped. I don't think it can escape through that tree. It doesn't have any hover or flying abilities. So, well, I mean, it does hover, but it can't hover over a tree. It's not that good. So I've had a change in vocation, but I was working with Boeing, and if you guys didn't know, Boeing is actually developing hover vehicles, and that could be some pretty cool tech in the future. Ride around in your hover taxi instead of a standard electric bus. Lots of fun future technology there. And another cast I'll have to talk about what my new vocation is. But right now, let's buckle down and refocus. Who's got the advantage here for either player? So it looks like a third base has been taken by BeSt. Is that a third base? There's a really close extra mineral, a set of mineral patches that you can take towards the north there on the 4th. That's pretty nice for a Protoss player. I feel like that's a kind of a free base for you to take once you have a well-defended natural on Fantasy. Meanwhile, the Dragoons that were trying to attack the natural base are just there to be a nuisance. BeSt can't break this wall at this point. Mind has himself in a great spot to at least defend the natural, but he's got to start thinking, where is my third going to be? So there's no upgrades on these mech units. They're sitting at 0-0. So relatively weak units and an advantageous position for BeSt when you come to the upgrade scenario. These Dragoons are being microed beautifully right now. Can you see the focus fire hitting all the important units first, trying to take out those Vultures and the Marines? Because once those come down and the Zealots come in here, you know, it's really sad that these Zealots are slow despite the fact that the Citadel has been done since like the 3rd minute of the game. But they do come in here to help, and oh, Mind is just going to pack it in. GG. He lost so many units in the middle of the map there trying to do the push. I think he overextended himself, weakened himself to the natural, and just had to call it a day. I'm still surprised BeSt was able to take that additional base. I'm going to have to look into Fantasy a little bit further to understand the expansion situation for players on that map. All right, so thank you for watching that one. We'll go into game number 4 shortly. The series is 2-1, and BeSt can win the series with his next win.